Melbourne, Florida. We've been invited to be a part of the demo days of Bearing Marine. It's the newest technology in hydrofoil boats, and we've been asked to come down and partake in some demo. So we're headed down. We're going to meet my son Tanner, who was part of helping with their website, eastcoastfoils.com, and we're going to go check these boats out and see if they're what they all say they are. Honestly, I don't expect to have them feel that much different, but they say they feel very different in the way they ride. They're more efficient, more economical. So we're headed down that way to see. So we'll be in Melbourne soon. See you there. Thanks for joining, guys.
It's a 28-foot rigid inflatable boat, and it's a catamaran. And so in the hole here in the center, there's a foil, and in the back there's two smaller foils that are about this big. And essentially what it does is it creates lift and makes it like a water ski and just gets it up out of the water. And at speed, instead of riding like a regular boat, it gets up and rides flat. And what you'll notice is you'll see no water out the sides, and it's a quieter ride in the sense that you don't hear water. You're going to hear wind and engines, and that's all you're going to hear. And
so you're not driving a boat, you're flying a boat, right?
You'll feel it kind of do this, and then it will settle, and you are flying it. So it's totally different, and it's more pronounced on that 30-footer.
Okay.
To do the quick story is, for a like-size boat, you can run with half the horsepower, probably about 30% better fuel burn, and 50% faster cruise speed. So this boat likes to cruise at 40-45.
And today we got a pretty windy day, a little bit of chop, so
we won't even feel it because
and in a traditional fiberglass boat, we'd feel this for sure.
You'd feel the slap. And a boat this size, you're probably going to cruise at 30, 32, maybe 35, and you're running 300 horsepower. These are 200 horsepower, and we're going to cruise at 40 to 45.
Okay. That acceleration is crazy. Man, crazy fast and hardly any chop at all or movement in this very, very choppy water. Really cool. More than I expected. Unbelievable. Wow, we just turned. That's amazing. This is cool. Notice there's no wake back here. We're giving up almost no wake.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
There's some chop in this water. We are cruising already.
Essentially in about a boat length.
Yeah, we got them playing really quickly. Yeah.
And there's zero effort. So these engines like to cruise at about 4,000, 4,200. So 4,000 RPM, we're at 40 miles an hour. And on a boat this size, you're probably at 32, 35.
Yeah, we didn't feel any of this chop, and we didn't give off hardly any wake either.
Oh, none. So when it's up, and you'll notice on the other one it's even more pronounced. There's essentially what you'll notice is you don't hear water out the sides because there's no water coming out.
Right.
And even with a regular boat this size, you probably hear a little chop right now, and it's just smooth. I wish there were some big boat wakes we could hit like that one we hit. You didn't even feel it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Totally different. And we were at 50 miles an hour when we hit that. That one I love. If you haven't seen the mock-up of it, but it was designed to be a tender for the big boats, and it has a rubber bumper that goes around the whole boat.
The 23?
Yeah, so you don't need fenders.
I did see a mock-up of it on the amazing website created by Siren Marketing right here. This is my son. So, if you didn't know, this is my son Tanner. By the way.
So everybody looks at the site now and they say, oh, these are just all mock-ups. The reason they're mock-ups is because the line's not out yet.
Right.
But if you go to Bearing Yachts, you can see their big boats. And what I like about it is the artisans that build the big boats do the stitching on here. So you're going to get this quality in the boats.
That's something I noticed. I'm in the furniture business, and this quality is this is
Yeah,
a
it's pretty
great
nice.
seat.
And
a great
I
seat.
like the fit and finish on it, and so the bigger boats will start to get that, and that's where it's good.
When do you expect the other boats to be available?
We're gonna have a 24 probably in spring of next year, and then a 30,
Okay.
and then the 34 aluminum we might have one in December or January.
Okay.
What turned on to me was John Donaldson. He runs Cito, so this is the exact same boat, and that's just his version. So he regularly gets, like yesterday he came up here from Sebastian and he gets 6 miles per gallon on that
Wow.
at 40 miles an hour.
Versus 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Versus about 2 normally.
I mean, even if you say, hey, you're getting 2.5 or 2.8, you're 30% better.
That's right. That's right.
But John's got the best empirical evidence, and he understands these better than anybody. He runs them all day long. So
That is.
I try not to run them all day long, but I do that.
It will, yeah. And I like the way it sticks too.
There you go. That's the
And
20. That's the one we're in.
so right now
We're in the
it's
gray.
just
They got the yellow. We got the Cito
and,
guy.
I mean, you can feel it.
So how long have you been flying one of these?
2016 when we bought it.
Oh, really? Okay, 2016.
This is the Gen 1.
Generation 1, huh?
Yes.
Okay. We are now in the 30, and we've got Mr. Larry captaining us. So, Larry, what would you tell us about this beautiful Hydrofoil 30?
This is the Berry Marine Hydrofoil supported Power Cat. This was one of the final fishing versions that we made back in 2017. We have a brand new model coming out 2024. You'll see a lot of difference, a lot more amenities, but this boat here was strictly designed to go fishing. Not a lot of bells and whistles, but wow, what a great ride.
Why else would you want a boat besides just to go fishing?
Well, one of the things is when you're my age and you're tired of being beat to death, our background is Pamlico Sound, Ocracoke Inlet, a tremendous amount of chop, very treacherous water when the wind gets up. What we like about this boat is it runs on a pair of foils, and this foil gives us a lot of lift. We're able to lift the boat high enough to stuff a lot of air down the tunnel. So we're just going to ride right across the chop. What's more amazing about this boat, running along 45, 50 mile an hour, I can turn this boat inward in any direction that we want to go. Our stern foil design allows the boat to stay planted. You're not going to hear any cavitation in the prop. You're not going to feel any stern slip, and we're just going to cruise right across it. It is a magnificent ride. At Bearing, we build several models all off this Hydrofoil system design, and we just love the performance. We're going to go further, we're going to go faster, and we're going to ride more comfortable with less horsepower. We like that, and we're going to run a lot faster than other boats. This boat is going to run, you're going to see 50 mile an hour out of this boat today. We've got the speed. Because we're going to reduce the drag, you'll see no wake. The spray will disappear on this boat. We're actually flying on a cushion of air. So we're going to see fuel range around 1.7, 1.8 miles per gallon at 45, 50 mile an hour, which is fantastic. But we've reduced the drag and reduced how hard we work our motors. We're going to be running less RPMs because there's no drag. So come on, we'll take a ride and we'll see how she does.
Let's rock and roll. Do I have a helmet or something? So a lot of spray when we start, but then it'll plane out quick. Here we go. turning and we're no speed reduction. That is unbelievable. Crazy. My son held on to me so I wouldn't fall in. We're doing a full circle, but we're going over our own chop here, and there's no chop. Look at that, there's no wake right there. We set the circle, there's no wake. That is unbelievable. Oh man, I'm about to fall down, that's crazy. I can't hold on because I'm holding on to my camera. Man, that is amazing, there's no chop. One little tiny bump from all that weight we created. Unreal, look at that out there.
As you could just see, how many power cats have you ever been on that would turn like this?
Yeah.
Or running at speeds of 44 and we're still getting 1.9 miles to the gallon. We have a local sea tow, one of our rib boats, flying on the same principle. We rode with him yesterday. He was doing 6.7 miles per gallon. 6.7 miles per gallon.
3 times better.
That's what hydrofoils do for you. You reduce drag by creating lift. We shove air through the tunnel to give a nice cushion ride, but we don't lose the stability because the foils are constantly keeping us adhered to the water.
Awesome.
You ready?
I'm ready.
You holding on?
Got it. Let's do it. All right, here we go, guys. Taking off. Gets up to playing so fast and so smooth. It's a windy, there's a little chop in the water. We can feel none of that chop. You can get where you want to get pretty quick in this sucker. I'm holding on for dear life right now. They told me about this. I thought there's no way it's that different. This is really different. This is much different than I expected it to be. I'm in 21 and 24 footers, and a friend of mine's got a 35 footer. We're in those all the time. This is completely different. We'll be riding over 2 and 3 foot wakes right now from our initial pass. There is nothing there. Look, it's flat. There's nothing there, and it only goes out about 10 feet. That is absolutely crazy. Again, because we're out of the water with this hydrofoil technology, we're up above the water, which I'm going to have Larry explain a little bit more in a minute. Whoa, gotta hold on. I had to hold on. There's the 28 footer right there. There you go. That thing. All right, so Larry, can you kind of explain to us in layman's terms, best you can, what the hydrofoil technology and how it works?
One of the best ways to understand hydrofoil technology is no different than aerodynamics. The way a plane flies, how you can easily adjust your flaps, whatever you need to do to contradict what the conditions are. What I like about hydrofoil is the main thing, it's going to lift the boat and stabilize the boat. Those are the two things that gives it quite the advantage over a comparison hull.
And how does it lift the boat?
It's the same way that you would. As you adjust, trim your flap to give yourself lift, all of the foil designs are going to run on some type of dihedral or angle attack, and as well as a forward angle. So we play with all those angles in several different configurations to give the lift versus the weight of the boat to get the performance that we're after. And one of the things I get to brag about is being a part of the Bering Marine team, which yes, we're associated and owned by the same gentleman with Bering Yachts, is we never quit. If we make one and we think, yeah, we've got it, we always take that data, we go back, and we see what we can do to make it better.
All right, guys, this is Chris Caprio. You haven't met him yet. You met Ian, you met Larry. This is Chris. He's He's helping bring Bering Marine to the state of Florida, which Bering Marine is kind of a newer division that is expanding from Bering, the company, Bering Yachts, etc. And he's helping bring to the state of Florida this new technology you've seen in these new boats. Bering Marine. So Chris, tell us how we can reach you if we have any questions and kind of your story.
So the easiest thing is just my phone number's on the website. Go to beringmarine.com. The best way to get me directly is just go to eastcoastfoils.com. eastcoastfoils.com. That's all me. And basically myself and Ian stumbled upon this new boat that's coming out. I own a 30-foot Robalo. It's a monohull, and I heard about all of the great things that's happening with this new boat, the fuel savings, the ability to turn, how it handles in 3 to 5 foot seas, all the things that are important to any boat owner. When you could take I took my 30-foot boat against this 30-foot boat that Greg was just on, and they're getting 2.2 miles per gallon where I was getting 0.8 when we were doing 40 knots. It's just those types of stats you can't argue with when you can cut your fuel savings in half in 1 year. So I'm not a big boat guy. I don't know a lot about the technology, but I do have guys like Larry and stuff on the team that can answer all those questions. I just saw this opportunity to be a part of new technology. It's almost like being a unicorn, and who wouldn't want to be a part of something like that? So you'll never fully understand what these boats can do unless you come get on one and try it out. The two boats that you saw today are Gen 1 and Gen 2. The Gen 3 boats are what's coming out in 2024. We've actually started taking orders and have several on order as we speak. And right now we're just going to be in a ramp-up stage. So most of the boats that are coming in now, they're being manufactured as we're placing orders. Eventually we'll get out in front of it and bring that time down. But it's a pretty special boat, and there's nothing like it out there.
All right, guys, you heard it. Reach out to Chris. Why drive a boat when you can fly one? Thanks for watching, guys. So one thing, I was just talking to Larry. The hydrofoil technology is not new. It's been around for a long time, actually. And so we asked Larry, what's the difference between that? And I'll put this in my words, not his. But the technology of hydrofoil has been around, but the ability to take that technology and put it with today's modern hulls, and there's some new changes to the technology that have really created this excitement around these new boats. And so that's really what's cool about this. And obviously that stuff's proprietary, and Larry, we couldn't get into what that stuff may or may not be, but taking the technology and putting it with today's modern hulls is really what the difference is. So come check these boats out. You met Ian, who was the first guy we were with. He is the local owner here of the dealership here down in Melbourne, Florida. The details will be down in the description below. You can reach him if you've got questions or want to come do a demo and test ride one. And then Larry works for actual Bering. He works for the engineering team and helping design the new boat. So he came down here to drive and show us around. So what a great, awesome day. Some really cool technology. I got to really think about this for myself. That 23-footer to me sounds really, really cool. So a couple of boats are available now. Some of the boats won't be available until next year, but do some more research. You can reach out to Ian or to Chris Caprio here locally in Melbourne. Both of their information is below in the description, and let them know that you saw the video from Freedom Fishing, and that you want to check out the boats and see if it may be something that works for you. Really, really a cool, awesome day on the water here, and you can see it's windy and there's a chop in the water. We didn't feel a thing. That speed, those turns at full speed, and you couldn't. There was no dissipation of the speed when we were in that turn. Really the coolest part for me was how quickly we got on plane and the speed we got it to. And then that 360 we did, when we got back around, you could see there was no wake, virtually zero wake from where we had just gone by at 40, 50 miles an hour. That's unbelievable. A regular boat, you're creating a 2 to 3 foot wake there. So you're up out of the water, the fuel savings, but just honestly the best part, just how cool it felt to fly on the water like that. Thanks for watching this episode of Freedom Fishing, guys. God bless. Please like and subscribe and share. Thank you.